And that's the golden mantra, isn't it? Is you need a profitable EA with a low drawdown, and you're good to go. All of the EAs I'm testing, all of the portfolios I'm trying to build or will hope to build are meant to work with prop firms. All right, so that worked. It did appear to stop trading once it was minus $100. All right, let's just see what happens. Then let's go back to our end of, can't remember, did we start here? Anyways, we'll start there. Get off the visual. Go to the graph. Let's see what happens. Now what happens in that too, it's not turning trading off. So there's nothing, it's not going to hit a point where, it hits a flat line. That's what that $200 amount does. But not this. This really only takes place within the trade. And then once that trade is closed, it basically resets automatically. So we don't have to worry about that. So I think last time we kind of did this on the 15-minute chart, we were somewhere around $300. And actually that graph looks better to me already. More consistent. I'm liking this. I will have to kind of run it against a bunch of pairs. So I'm going to have to add my normal pairs to this chart or to this session and then run this EA against all of those pairs over, say, the last 6-month period. Now that's no guarantee of anything. I understand a lot of guys that do EAs are basically testing it over years, sometimes 10 years. But I understand why they do that. I mean, I think it makes the EA extremely robust. But I tend to believe that, see, I think this was the trouble spot before, and our new system got us out of that. Anyway, I think that, well, see, we're at 363 already, and we're at January 10th. The way I believe the more recent historical data is more relevant than 10 years ago. I mean, yeah, I do understand why you would do that. Look at that, you're into 434. So this, on this particular pair, on this particular time period, this change we've done is very good. I think it will also lower our drawdown. So, okay, we ended up at 388. Not a whole lot more, but let's check the drawdown. Balanced drawdown maximal, 1.07%. 0.1%. This looks fantastic. This looks like a good change to what we were doing. So I'll come back. I'm going to set this up so we'll put all of the pairs on here so I can test it, run it for 6 months against all of the pairs and just see what happens. So we're going to change this to all symbols. We'll go from, well, let's go longer. I want to go back to, say, September up to the latest ticks we have. It's going to take quite a while, I think. All right, so we ran the EA against the 12 pairs I'll be trading, and I am very happy with these results. This looks fantastic. As you can see, everything was a winner except for these two. And I'm guessing these two got locked in at that $200 mark. Just stop trading at $200. Not stop loss though, not closing the trades. But look at the drawdown. if we sort this by worst to best, certainly the two worst of those losses, fair enough. But then the worst is 2.18. And the best, look at all these, are very acceptable. So this is definitely what I'll be running next week. The only thing I want to do one more test on, this is about 4.5 months, last 4.5 months or so. What I want to see, if they also do bad, just say in the last 2 weeks, then we won't trade those next week. Let's keep them off. But I have a feeling they'll do fine in a 2 week period. So I'll probably default to trading everything, but we'll see. So let's come back to our settings. So let's go with, see, we're here. So let's start there. And we're running it against all 12 pairs. And let's go. Actually, this is running much faster than the other one, so I thought I may as well just leave this live. And like this doesn't update in real time, so you have to change the tab you're on and just come back. But you see all of those guys are winning. Not a lot of money because we are just trading 0.02s at this point. And I'm going to stick with that for next week. I think the dollar a pip was too much for a $10,000 account and for placing the number of trades I do in this style. Okay, we've got our first loss, CAD Japan. All right. Oh, we only had the one loss, CAD Japan. But I think, let's take a look at that spreadsheet again. See, CAD Japan wasn't one of the losing ones last time. So I don't think it's any point in not trading a particular pair just because of how it did on backtesting. Or maybe if you were to do that over a couple of years or something, and your data might be a little more accurate. But even then, let's say you tested this over 2 or 3 years and you found there were 2 pairs or 4 pairs or whatever that didn't perform well. That's almost meaningless as to running it next week. Because of the average of what it did over a long period of time, several years, doesn't mean that you're not going to have a good week next week. So I think we have to I use testing more to test whether the code is working the way I want to, rather than as a predictive tool as to which pair is going to do best going forward, because I don't think we know that based on just doing this kind of testing.